failure have occurred. Before starting Humira, your doctor should test you for TB. Ask your doctor if you live in or have been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Tell your doctor if you have had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have symptoms such as fever, fatigue, cough, or sores. You should not start Humira if you have any kind of infection.
Make the most of every moment. Ask your dermatologist about Humira today. Clearer skin is possible.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
With Hotwire's low prices, we can afford to take more trips this year. Hit the beach in Florida.
And a reunion in Seattle. When hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them.
So we got our 4-star hotels for half price.
HOTWIRE, Hotwire.com.
Chevrolet and its dealers proudly support Military Appreciation Month with the industry's best military purchase program for all that have served.
Do you have something for pain?
I have Bayer aspirin.
I'm not having a heart attack. It's my back.
I mean Bayer Back and Body. It works great for pain.
Bayer Back and Body provides effective relief for your tough pain.
Better?
Yeah. Thanks for the tip.
Grow. It's what we do. We grow big celebrations and personal victories. We grow new beginnings and better endings. Grand gestures, happier happy hours. So let's grow something greater with Miracle-Gro. What will you grow?
Well, it's time now for our top 5 videos of the day. And we take a look at all of the amazing weather videos that come in from around the world.
And no shortage of amazing video this week. We've had crazy severe weather, but we've also had cool things like this. Check out a surfer surfing a barrel wave, which is basically hollow enough. It looks like a tunnel as he's going through that breaking wave.
This, a couple of things here. B, it makes me want to have a GoPro.
Yeah, that too.
Because you can do all these amazing things. You don't have to care if the salt water splashes all over your camera.
I love the sun at the end of the barrel right there. Right? That's from the Outer Banks, by the way, of North Carolina. Gorgeous video.
Now, from a gorgeous view to a not-so-gorgeous view, imagine trying to go through this parking lot. This is a sinkhole that opened up in Winter Haven, Florida, around 30 feet wide, and where you can see down, it's about 5 foot deep already.
Yeah, that sinkhole, by the way, continues to buckle, and geologists have been called in to evaluate the situation, but yeah, I'm not parking there for a while.
No, no, it reminds me of when all the Corvettes fell through the classic car shop. That's right. Wild.
Number 3, heavy rain causing flooding in Louisiana. We just got walloped with several inches of rain. This is in Breaux Bridge.
Yeah, and I love the caption there saying, "That's my yard." They're driving past on the road, but sending all that water as a wave comes up the grass into that person's yard. That's not exactly the way you want to water your lawn.
No, not at all. No. That's terrible. Hopefully that flooding has gone away. All right, check out number 2, lightning striking. And this is in Minot, North Dakota from last night. Look at that electric show.
Yeah, just a really highly electrified storm came across the area, and really from one side of the screen to the other, you had some amazing lightning. And right now we have storms on the increase outside of Fargo, due west from Fargo. So the northern tier again, seeing views like this.
Pretty amazing, that's for sure. Number 1, this is really cool. A rare roll cloud. This was spotted about 150 miles southeast of Watford City, North Dakota. Look at that thing. It just goes on and on and on. And by the way, this video taken about 8 hours after a tornado actually hit Watford City.
That's just, it's so cool to see those. Sometimes you think they're shelf clouds. It's really hard to tell the difference, especially in a kind of a stagnant picture shot. But when you're there, you can actually see that whole cloud rotating. And that's why it gets the roll cloud name. That's a wild image right there.
Very cool. What else is going to be cool in New York, Mark?
Well, you know, we hope that you'd have a chance to get some fantastic pictures tonight, because those of you around New York City would have that opportunity in what's being called Manhattanhenge. That's what happens when the sun aligns perfectly with the street grid. So all the way at the end of the road, when you look out to the west, it looks like you would see the sun, kind of like Stonehenge, but with the buildings of Manhattan as the side of the view. And really, the further away you are, the better the pictures. Now, here's an example of what it looks like. This is along West 42nd Street, and you can see the buildings on the side there and the sun all the way at the edge. That's when the skies are clear. See, this picture was taken in 2006, and this happens 4 times every year when it lines up perfectly with the grid. The problem is that last night it was rather cloudy out, which made most of the pictures a complete bust. Look at this picture, posted by an MSNBC producer looking down 50th Street, which wasn't really the best location. Look at this, clouds. Yeah, you got the Radio City, that's pretty nice, but it's nothing but clouds at the end of the view. And that's going to be the trend, really, over the next couple at least for tonight. This is your second chance. Here's where you could go if you're hoping that the cloud deck will break up. 14th Street, 23rd Street, 34th, 42nd and 57th, also quite good. And we're told that 34th and 42nd Streets are really good because you have the Chrysler Building there, you have the Empire State Buildings there, and so they kind of frame the shot for you. If you do want to attempt to get a photo, here's what you do. You go as far east as you can on those roads, while still being able to look towards the west and see New Jersey across the river. So that's the goal. Unfortunately, with the full sun at around 8:16, 8:18 or so, there's still a good chance of some cloud cover. Even some showers could be around at that time. So if you do happen to miss it, you get another chance coming up July 11th and July 12th.
And if you're able to take pictures, send them in to us. You could win $15,000. We are looking for pictures from amateurs and also the experts. So send them in, but you got to do it before June 15th.
This season, we're taking back the backyard. Let's mix, let's match, and let's grab these guys. Add this guy, ooh, and this cool new thing. Save all these guys, and then let's mix it up. Let's turn the space we always had into the space we've always wanted. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Kill weeds and keep them dead. Free refill with purchase of Roundup or Roundup Extended Control.
As a commercial beekeeper, Dave tracks the Weather Channel forecast closely, predicting when crops across the country will bloom and need bees for pollination. At a moment's notice, he loads and trucks thousands of bees, keeping his eye on the weather to ensure his fragile cargo makes it to the blooms on time. When the bees and blooms matter, Dave turns to the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, scattered showers or thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%.
When Panera began, we decided to get up every day and bake fresh bread from fresh dough. That decision made us wonder, what else could we do the right way? Could we make food that lives up to our bread? And could it be food you could trust, with ingredients like chicken raised without antibiotics? Could we come together as a community and help feed people in need? We already have. And every morning, we start again. Panera Bread.
Find your Panera Bread favorite and share with us. Hashtag Panera Faves.
Where's the doctor? We got a man bleeding to death back here. You know, you really should call 911. I am 911.
I'm really sorry about your wife. No one should have to go through something like that alone.
You must be here to break me out. A couple of horses right outside the window.
Did you send my son into harm's way?
I did the best I could.
You never did anything to stop him, did you?
I've failed a lot of people. I'm not gonna fail you.
Longmire, new season, Monday, June 2nd at 10 on A&E. Bridgestone tires perform best when you need it most.
Like when Julie Bowen is late taking her son to a birthday party.
Okay, people, you, front seat, you, out of my way.
Julie has our new Drive Guard tires, the next generation of run-flat technology.
Oh, good, nails.
Oh, these tires are engineered to take a puncture and then drive up to 50 miles.
50 miles? Great, because I remember the present, but I forgot the kid. Yeah, you need to check. Oh, I forgot. I have a lot of kids.
I won this 55-inch TV for less than $30 on DealDash.com.
I got this $1,200 computer for $100.71.
These aren't actors, they're real people who got real savings at DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. At DealDash.com, you can save up to 99%, but hurry, everything must go.
And shipping is always free.
Visit DealDash.com and start bidding today.
Pets are family, and we know it. That's why you can trust 1-800-PET-MEDS. Recognized for our high standards in pet pharmacy, we sell the exact same medications as the vet, but for 10, 20, up to 50% less. With fast, free shipping, our 100% satisfaction guarantee, and even a free treat. Over 8 million pet parents have counted on us. So call or order online at 1-800-PetMeds.com today.
A Weather Channel original series.
Never put your hands on me.
Catching Hell, premiering Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back. We are Hurricane Central. Of course, hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin begins this Sunday, June 1st, and it goes all the way to the end of November. Hopefully, we're not going to get through all the names on this list, but these are the 2014 storm names, starting with Arthur, going to Bertha, Cristobal, and also Dolly making the list. Of course, once a storm is catastrophic in any way, those names get taken off the list, but typically these names are reused about every 6 years. So let's take a look and see if anything's brewing out there across the tropics. And we look across the Caribbean. We see some clouds out there and the occasional shower or two, but fortunately, nothing organized, so that's good news if you're taking that cruise down towards Puerto Rico. The Virgin Islands looking really good, and also across the Gulf of Mexico. Even though we do have some storms out there, we're not seeing any tropical development, at least not in the near term. However, as we look at climatology, it tells us to watch close to home. This is where typically the storms do develop during the month of June. We're talking the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Caribbean, and sometimes off of dying fronts right off the East Coast, you can get a storm that can quickly spin up as well. Now, if the storms were to develop, say in the Gulf of Mexico, especially in the eastern Gulf, we've got a little bit of a sweet spot there. Typically, they would kind of curve this way to the north and then move over to the east, and sometimes they can also affect the Carolinas. So that's why we have to watch very, very closely any storms that do develop this time of the year. In fact, since 1950, we've been keeping track of these things. During the month of June, we've had on average about one storm developing every 1 to 2 years. But the most we've ever had in 1 year, that was actually 3 tropical systems during the month of June, and that was back in 1968. Now, as we take a look at the Eastern Pacific, of course, our season started a little bit earlier, back on May 15th. We've already had a very strong hurricane, nearly a Category 5, as a matter of fact. That was Amanda, but fortunately didn't affect anybody, so that's the good news there. The next name on the list would be Boris, so let's see if we have any Boris in the near future. And right now, we're just seeing some storms here and there, cluster of storms right off the coast of Acapulco, and also right along the intertropical convergence zone. That's typically where we do find activity, but once we get a closed level area of circulation, becomes a tropical depression, then eventually a tropical storm, and it is this area right here that we are monitoring. The National Hurricane Center also monitoring this area as well, giving it a higher chance of becoming our next tropical system. Of course, Boris would be the name, and they just upped it to 60%. Right now, it just looks like showers mainly affecting the Mexican Riviera, but for now, it looks like this system, if it were to develop, would continue out towards sea. Mark?
And Kel, speaking of those tropical waters, there is a new show coming to the Weather Channel that we're excited about, and it's called Catching Hell. It follows spearfishers and the dangerous environments that they face. Check out this preview as the crews encounter a freak storm on what was a beautiful day to fish.
Our biggest rivalry in the Gulf is the weather. You never know what it's going to do. It can turn on a dime, and you have to be ready for it at all times. It's nuts looking, and it's coming this way. This storm, there was no rhyme or reason for it, no forecast of it happening. It was just simply lightning and thunderstorms that started on land over Florida and for some reason moved west at a high rate of speed. It looked like something that would be rolling across the plains of Kansas, tornadoes, and it was ominous looking.
Bad as it was, about very dangerous for a vessel.
It looks like this thing is going to engulf us from the north. When we see water spouts out there, we try to put as much distance between them as possible. You have to really be on your toes. All of a sudden, it's on top of you, and in these smaller boats, there's a good chance you're going to go down.
Follow all the action on Catching Hell this Sunday night at 9 Eastern, only here on the Weather Channel.
Well, we are going to check your weekend forecast. Is it going to be good for fishing out there, maybe hitting the beach?
Maybe, especially if you're down towards the southeast coast, maybe the mid-Atlantic coast, not too bad. A lot of thunderstorms on the map, though, this weekend,
Yeah,
Cal.
We're watching the areas in red. That's where we have the best chance for seeing some severe weather, so watch out for damaging winds, large hail. We can't rule out the possibility of tornadoes. I know the Twins are at home. Looks like there could be some rough weather there, but the White Sox game looks good in Chicago.
Yeah, that hail and wind threat across the northern tier, not only Saturday, but also into Sunday. Although we don't have the red on the map because we're still several days out, there is that chance of severe weather, especially eastern South Dakota, northern Nebraska, stretching into southern Minnesota, all areas that we're concerned about for severe weather Sunday.
Looks like good weather for the NASCAR race going on out there in Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, and you know what? It's that time of year again when the seas start churning and the south and east coast start bracing themselves.
We are getting ready for the Atlantic hurricane season, which officially starts on Sunday. In just a few minutes, we'll show you how past storms are affecting what happens in the future.
And take a look at the nation's capital. Right now, we have a view coming up of the Capitol building there. Look at that, a beautiful sight there. Weather really not too bad. We've been seeing kind of those backdoor cold fronts in New York and Boston, but D.C., you've been warm and you're getting warmer for the next couple days.
And maybe 90 next week, by the way, and there's a beautiful look at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. This is just one area that we need to be watching for the possibility of severe weather.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, scattered showers or thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, we've been watching those pesky and sometimes dangerous afternoon thunderstorms popping up all week.
Lightning could really light up those skies from the northern plains to the Gulf Coast into the Carolinas later today. And Dr. Greg Forbes is tracking those trouble spots right through the weekend.
But it's not only about the bad weather. We're also tracking where you're going to see gorgeous weather this weekend. And that means you, D.C. Wait till you see the temperatures in store for the Mid-Atlantic.
And the Atlantic hurricane season gets an official start this weekend as well. We are helping you prepare ahead of the storms this summer.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, you are watching Weather Center Live. And thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Kelly Cass. We made it to Friday, the final Friday of the month of May, and we've got plenty of storms to talk about.
I can't believe it's the last Friday of May. I mean, where'd spring go? Hurricane season is starting up. It's wild.
Well, we're going to take a live look at Minneapolis, where here it's feeling like summertime for sure. We got up to 84 degrees yesterday. That is about 11 degrees above your average. So, yeah, I know you had a long, cold, hard winter, but yeah, we jumped right into summertime, didn't we? Over the weekend, though, showers and storms will eventually cool us back to average. Mark has a look at the active radar.
Yeah, and Kel, that radar is starting to pick up just a little bit. We do have some storms that are cranking not only across the southeast, but also across the northern tier and really in the center of the country as well. A few different areas of concern. Here's the northern fringe right now, and scattered storms over the Dakotas all the way back into eastern Colorado. We also have some severe weather in extreme northwestern Iowa to talk about as well. So let's start off there. You're getting right on the border. Here's Iowa, here's South Dakota, Sioux Falls and I-29, Sioux City and I-29, and you're right in between with this big storm. We've been following this one for the past half an hour or so, and right now Plymouth, Sioux, and Union counties all underneath that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30. Large hail, some wind involved here, and the lightning has been on the increase as well. And again, just one lightning strike can be severe. So if you are close enough to hear the thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning, and it means you got to get inside and wait the storms out. Here in the southeast, we have this big kind of pinwheel motion. This is an area of low pressure. It's been stuck here for days now, 3-4 days in a row. And so the same areas continue to see that precip coming in off the Gulf. And that means we still have that threat of flooding. So a flash flood watch in place. Southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, a lot of rain has been featured right there. And right now, scattered storms, nothing too severe along the Gulf, but it is something that we're going to watch. Now that severe weather threat increases even more as we go through the weekend. So let's go now to Dr. Greg Forbes in our Global Forecast Center. Greg.
The main severe threat over the weekend is going to be not so much in the southeast, but up in the northern, central, and high plains as a system from the west coast begins to push into that area. It's already moist enough up in these areas. Denver 59, that's high. Rapid City 53, Fargo 62. You see that the moisture is already there enough for even today some severe thunderstorms, but it's this upper disturbance, this little gray line here represents the shifting winds of that cold pocket aloft that will slowly work its way eastbound. Not too involved today, but by Sunday gives a pretty high tornado threat in parts of the central plains. Today, spotty wind and hail from Fargo, Pierre, down to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, maybe Denver. Low chance of a tornado, mostly some spotty hail and damaging winds. Then, as we head into Saturday, some of those upper level, mid-level winds begin to approach the area, especially Montana, Wyoming. They may be 60 miles per hour, and they add some wind energy. They begin to hit into Montana. So on Saturday, I've given a Torcon of 3 there for Montana, 3 for parts of South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Some of the severe weather may even get into western parts of Minnesota and again down near the Denver area. Sunday, yet one more day for that upper system to begin pushing its way east. A lot of warm, moist air, even moistening more than it has been, and a little bit of faster winds at about 5,000 feet, maybe 45 miles per hour. So that adds a lot of low-level shear, increasing the tornado risk. And at 20,000 feet, those mid-level winds cut right across the warm, moist air. So on Sunday, anywhere from Rapid City to Minneapolis, down to North Platte and Dodge City and parts of the panhandles, we'll have severe thunderstorms and a pretty high tornado threat. Take a look at this. Torcon of 5 there, eastern parts of South Dakota, 4 for parts of central Nebraska, and 4 also for parts of western Kansas. And so it is going to be a stormy pattern and will continue into the early part of next week. Now it is also beginning to be hurricane season. Let's go now to Mark and Kelly.
Thanks, Dr. Forbes. And you know, we have to look ahead to hurricane season. It begins on Sunday. And to do that, we actually look back to the lessons learned from past years. And it's not just coastal communities that are vulnerable. Lake Okeechobee in central Florida actually has a deadly past.
Yeah, thousands were literally washed away in the 1928 hurricane when a storm surge caused waters to breach a dike. But as Kate Parker shows us, that was the catalyst for change that is protecting the area right now.
Our daddy would go uptown, they had the Western Union, I guess, and they'd get a report. He'd come back and say where it was, and then a few hours he'd go back, and finally he came back and said it's a-coming.
It may be 86 years later, but some memories never fade.
It was really cold and really wet and really dark, and I remember, this is the only thing I really remember from this night. I remember 2 arms lifted me. I remember a couple of days later, we were sitting out there
and a dump truck was coming down the road, and my brother said, "Do you know what that is?" And I said, "No," and he said, "It's bodies. It's dead bodies."
On September 16th, 1928, Iris and Sister Lucille survived the second deadliest hurricane in U.S. history.
The statue that's out front of this building, you said that it looked like your family that night.
Mm-hmm. If there's two little girls in the band's arms, but it's my daddy and my mama, and a woman carried me and the boy, we look at it and we see us.
The hurricane made landfall on Florida's east coast, but the impacts were most severe inland. Storm surge caused the dike around Lake Okeechobee to fail, and hundreds of square miles were flooded with 20 feet of water.
The muck dike that washed away wasn't much of a dike. It probably wasn't 6 or 8 feet, tall, made out of muck.
And that was all that stood between thousands of people and a lake the size of Rhode Island.
How many people died here that night?
They're not sure. Some say 3,000, some say 2. They don't really know.
After that particular disaster, Congress asked the Corps of Engineers to build a structure to make sure that never happened again.
The Herbert Hoover Dike that I'm standing on is what separates Lake Okeechobee and all of this water from this farmland, people's livelihood. But it also separates them from floodwaters in the event of a hurricane.
Life goes on out here. You gotta take it in strides. You got problems, you gotta deal with it, and life doesn't stop. You gotta move on.
I'm Kate Parker for the Weather Channel.
Well, tomorrow marks an anniversary that's a little too close for comfort for us here at the Weather Channel.
Straight ahead, we remember the El Reno tornado that grew faster than we ever could have imagined that it would.
Drifting away to all those summer nights. Tell me more.
Twizzlerize your summer fun with Twizzlers, the twist you can't resist.
It's KFC game night. Dinner at the table is approaching, I think, something like 12 minutes. Thanks to 12 extra crispy tenders, 4 dipping sauces, 2 sides, and biscuits.
And a free I Spy game right on the bucket.
I kind of want to do this every Friday.
Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars contain 1/3 of your daily whole grains. So 1/3 of this commercial is dedicated to what you could do with all that energy. One-third of your daily whole grains means energy to take the road less traveled. Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars.
Fired. You can't fire me. I'm the captain of this boat. I'm facing an uphill battle here. Never put your hands on me. Risking your life, come hell or high water.
Catching Hell, premiering Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel's new morning show.
It all starts with the weather.
America's morning headquarters with Sam Champion. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Happiness feels
feels like.
Chevrolet and its dealers proudly support Military Appreciation Month with the industry's best military purchase program for all that have served.
Many of my patients still clean their dentures with toothpaste, but they have to use special care in keeping the denture clean. Dentures are very different to real teeth. They're about 10 times softer and may have surface pores where bacteria can multiply.
There's a nice look at New York City where we have a little bit of blue showing through those clouds. We do have a chance for seeing some rain showers, but at least it's warmer than what we saw yesterday. We were stuck in the mid-60s. Today, we got into the 70s. And by the way, congratulations to the New York Rangers headed to the finale of the Stanley Cup. We also have the Yankees at home this weekend, too. Hopefully the weather will cooperate for heading out there. But right now, we got some very pleasant temperatures up in the Bronx. We're 74 degrees, LaGuardia 74. Down along the south shore of Long Island, though, it's a little bit cooler with those mid-60s around Kennedy Airport. By the way, I checked on the airport situation. No delays. Can't blame anything on the weather right now, so that's certainly good news for those of you trying to get back from a business trip and maybe head back home. Let's take a look elsewhere across the Northeast as we are looking at some rather cool air. In fact, it was downright chilly in Boston with those temperatures only in the 50s. Finally, we see a reverse in the wind direction coming out of the southwest this time, and that's going to allow those temperatures to warm up, not just to average, but in some cases above average, especially D.C. Wait till you see the high temperature for the middle of next week. Tomorrow it's going to be 79 degrees, 69 degrees in Central Park in New York. Albany, New York, we're looking at those temperatures in the low 70s over towards Binghamton as well. 78 degrees in Buffalo for your Sunday. Back to work on Monday, and we are well into the 70s. Even Boston getting up to 77 degrees. D.C., we're going to see a high of 84 on Monday. Philadelphia, your average high 78 degrees. We're going to get above that by Monday, and certainly well above that by Tuesday with those temperatures in the mid-80s. Here you go, D.C., your average high 79. We're going to be above that the next couple of days, and it looks like by Tuesday we are likely to hit 90 degrees in the nation's capital. So certainly heating up across these areas. Mark?
Thanks, Kel. And tomorrow marks 1 year since a massive tornado formed in El Reno, Oklahoma. This tornado got really powerful really quickly and wound up tossing our tornado track team in their truck. Mike Bettis was there for that ride and looks back on the storm with Keith Carson.
Guys, that's it. Right there. There's the tornado. There's the tornado. We are just north of Union City, south of El Reno, south of I-40. Cops have blocked off 80.
Well, a year away from the El Reno tornado, and now we're looking back on it. What are some of the things that made that storm different, and what are the things that we learned from it?
You can at times become cavalier. You know, maybe you think you're invincible.
Keep going if you can. Everybody duck down. Everybody duck down.
And I think that day proved to a lot of us that were caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time that we're not invincible.
We were hit by the tornado. I got to tell you, my life flashed before my eyes.
Was there any apprehension about going back out there to chase again this year?
Maybe a little apprehension this year. I think there's a real purpose to us being out there and showing people how weather works, and they're fascinated by it.
What are the factors that made that system different, that tornado different from others?
I think probably the width of the tornado, a lot of people not even knowing they were in the circulation. You know, it had some erratic motion. It grew to a monster, 2.6 miles wide. During that tornado, it was rain wrapped, and there were a lot of multi-vortices within that tornado. You know, the road network itself wasn't that great. You know, there were a lot of dirt roads, and so I think all those combinations of factors, you know, worked against a lot of people.
I want to show you that we got a brand new tornado track vehicle that will be following storms with.
Definitely has changed our approach on how we do to it. You know, we always have a second meteorologist now that has our back with us in the field and is really cognizant of what our position is in relation to where the storm is. Because a lot of times I'm not able to closely monitor the radar if I'm broadcasting live. So someone always has our back the whole time, and that's really key to us.
And Mark's going to be heading out there tomorrow. Good luck to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm that second meteorologist, backseat driver, as I like to put it.
Giving directions in the backseat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now is the time to prepare for the upcoming hurricane season. It officially starts Sunday.
Storm Tracker Jim Cantori gives us a look at how scientists are testing things like garage doors to keep us safe.
Eliminate odors and reduce allergens with new Febreze Allergen Reducer.
Want to see some allergens?
Ew! What is that thing?
They could be all around you right now. How would you deal with them?
Ninjas.
No need for ninjas. Reduce up to 95% of inanimate allergens becoming airborne from fabrics with new, dermatologist-tested Febreze Allergen Reducer. Get fresher air and breathe happy. Also available in Air Effects.
Brought to you by Febreze. Breathe happy.
It's always the same dilemma. Who gets the Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check?
Rock beats scissors.
Wife beats rock.
And with 2 checks a year, everyone wins.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely only from Allstate. Call 866-906-8500 now.
Zach really loves his new camera. Problem is, this isn't Zach. It's a friend of a friend who was at Zach's party and stole his camera. But Zach's got it covered with Allstate Renters Insurance.
Protect your valuables for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 866-906-8500 now.
What are you doing?
We're switching car insurance.
Why?
Because these guys are the cheapest.
Why?
Good question. Because a cut rate price could mean cut rate protection.
You should listen to this guy.
With Allstate, you get great protection and a great price, plus an agent. Drivers who switch saved an average of $498 a year. Call now and see how much you can save.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
Whoa.
Sweeten any moment with soft, fruity, chewy Fruit Vines bites.
One more signature.
From the Red Vines family, introducing Fruit Vines Bites. Live on the sweet side with Fruit Vines.
The new Sea-Doo Spark. It's bringing the fun your family has been dreaming of. Easy to own and a thrill to ride. But the biggest rush is realizing you can own one now. The Sea-Doo Spark, starting at $49.99.
Fired. You can't fire me. I'm the captain of this boat. I'm facing an uphill battle here. Never put your hands on me. Risking your life, come hell or high water.
Catching Hell, premiering Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy. No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No-No for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No-No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
America's Morning Headquarters with Sam Champion.
Not just a morning forecast, a morning show.
AMHQ with Sam Champion, the Weather Channel's brand new morning show.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Severe weather starting to ramp up, not only today, but over the next couple of days. So it's time now for your severe weather update. We start things off across the southeast, where a pesky area of low pressure has been spiraling away. Anywhere in here, you could see a lot of lightning with these kind of garden variety thunderstorms, but don't take them too lightly. Even though they're not getting severe thunderstorm warnings, again, lightning is dangerous. And even the north side of Atlanta seeing a lot of lightning right now. Here we go across the northern tier. This is the focal point of severe weather, really, for the rest of today and into the weekend. And right now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that has popped up here in northern South Dakota, just outside of Aberdeen. This storm has really been taking off over the past half an hour or so. Large hail, gusty winds, and a beautiful structure if you happen to be out there or seeing a live camera from the area. Brown, Edmonds, and McPherson counties, severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30 for you. Here's the threat zone for the rest of the day. Hail and wind, the biggest threats. Can't completely rule out a tornado, though it's not high on the severe weather threat for the day. That said, tomorrow things start to ramp up a little bit further. We'll be seeing a better kind of combination of wind direction with height in the atmosphere that can get that spinning motion. So it's not just hail and wind, it's also a tornado threat. A 3 out of 10 in southeast Montana. Also, as we move towards Nebraska and southwest South Dakota, a 3 out of 10 there as well. And it increases even further as we work our way into Sunday. Look at this stretch of red on the map, that threat of severe weather from southern Minnesota into northern Nebraska. And within this area, a Torcon of 5 out of 10 in eastern South Dakota and northern Nebraska. Central Nebraska, a 4 out of 10, and even a little bit lower just south of there. Kelly, over to you.
Thanks, Mark. As you know, Sunday is the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Don't worry, there's nothing out there yet, but that doesn't mean some brilliant minds aren't still trying to protect us. Storm tracker Jim Cantore takes us to the University of Florida.
Here at the Hurricane Research Lab at the University of Florida, we have tested all sorts of things today, including roofing tiles, and we found out when they were improperly installed, what happens. These things usually should take winds at Category 5 strength, but you can see when they're put in with nails as opposed to screws, they come off easy with winds between 100 and 140 miles per hour. We also tested garage door. This is a commercial grade garage door, and the wind flow around your house, of course, will depend on what force it'll have against the actual door itself. We put two forces on it. First, we had a force that would pull the door out, and then we had a force that would push the door in. You can see that the door pretty much failed in both circumstances here. So that is something, obviously, that they're here to do. They're here to research how to make a stronger door that can hold, because once you get that water in, and especially that air in, other areas are going to go as well. Windows, possibly even the roofing facility. And speaking of windows, we tested two windows. One was a normal window that most of us have in our homes. We taped up that window. Just because you tape it doesn't mean it's going to be able to withstand the force of a piece of debris, a 2x4 here, that flew toward the window. And then we used, if you will, impact-resistant or hurricane-resistant glass. This window held up a lot better. Even if water got in a little bit here, the big wind didn't get in. Because once the wind gets in, that means the roof will eventually go, and you've got all sorts of problems with your home. So here again, we're here to build a better mousetrap. And that's exactly what we did. We got a chance to even test me with winds up to about 50 miles per hour. A lot of people wait till last minute to put up their plywood. And as you can see here, trying to hold on to a piece of plywood or OSB board, as this was the case, it's almost impossible to do that once the wind and the rain starts moving in. So it's been a great day. I think certainly if you think about building a home from scratch and you live in a hurricane-prone area, you need to incorporate a lot of this high-end equipment. If not, you're going to see the kind of failures that we saw today. Guys, back to you.
And if Jim Cantore's guns can't hold up that piece of plywood, I got no shot.
There you go. It's always good to be prepared, though, no matter what.
It's true.
No matter what happens this season. We'll take a live look at Myrtle out there today. A little breeze blowing as well.
It looks like a baseball team or something having fun on the boardwalk there. Hopefully no storms come and ruin the fun.
This season, we're taking back the backyard. Let's mix, Let's match. And let's grab these guys. Add this guy. Ooh, and this cool new thing. Save all these guys. And then let's mix it up. Let's turn the space we always had into the space we've always wanted. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Kill weeds and keep them dead. Free refill with purchase of Roundup or Roundup Extended Control.
I don't just make things for a living. I take pride in them. So when my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis was also on display, I'd had it. I finally had a serious talk with my dermatologist. This time, he prescribed Humira, adalimumab. Humira helps to clear the surface of my skin by actually working inside my body. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance. And the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal events such as infections, lymphoma, or other types of cancer have happened. Blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure have occurred. Before starting Humira, your doctor should test you for TB. Ask your doctor if you live in or have been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Tell your doctor if you have had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have symptoms such as fever, fatigue, cough, or sores. You should not start Humira.
Make the most of every moment. Ask your dermatologist about Humira today. Clearer skin is possible.
All the goodness of milk, all the deliciousness of Hershey's syrup. Squeeze, stir, share.
Your mom could do anything. Defy gravity. Find hidden treasure. Make rainbows appear. Now she could use a hand so she can keep living on her own. Comfort Keepers can help you help her. Our professional caregivers are carefully chosen and highly trained to provide a variety of in-home services while truly engaging with your aging loved ones so they can stay happy at home. Comfort Keepers, keeping the comforts of home. Call Comfort Keepers now to learn more.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac, no pill relieves heartburn faster.
Best Western, stay 3 separate times and get a free night. And use it here. Or here. Or even here. And when you stay, enjoy breakfast and free high-speed internet. Book now at bestwestern.com.
I'm taking a beating here down to the ground as we're just dealing with these sheets of rain and winds that are howling 50, 60 miles per hour. I'm going to ride this one out, guys. I'm going to ride this one out right here.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Mistake and I'm dead.
Hey everybody, take a look at this gustnado caught on camera. This was yesterday afternoon near Minot, North Dakota. You can see the dirt, the dust, and the debris swirling around. We could be seeing more severe thunderstorms out there today, especially here in the northern plains. So we will keep you posted of any chance of severe weather, especially as we head into this weekend. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Weather Center Live. I'm Kelly Cass. Yesterday, we saw plenty of wind and hail reports. Thankfully, no tornadoes. Mark gets us caught up on where storms are popping up right now. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Kel, and the storms are on the increase, that's for sure. It's time to take a look at the latest on the radar screens, and we start here across the northern tier, where we do have this kind of broken line of storms. Notice the lightning on the increase. Sometimes that's an indicator as to where we will see the stronger storms forming and the severe weather on the increase. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here right at the kind of the border of North and South Dakota, just outside of Aberdeen. Although as we speak, the severe thunderstorm warning has just expired. That said, within this cell right here, there have been some reports of a quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's only moving northeast at about 10 miles per hour or so. So the same area is really under the gun still. Even with no severe thunderstorm warning, there's plenty of lightning. And so you got to take that storm seriously. Same story with all of these storms here across southern Illinois into Missouri. A lot of lightning with these storms, and that is a severe threat. Even though it won't get a severe thunderstorm warning, you can't warn for lightning because every lightning strike is severe. Here's the southeast, where we have our own weather maker that's still in play. An area of low pressure back here. You can see that counterclockwise spin, and it's why the storms are moving this way, because they're going back towards that area of low pressure. We're also pulling in moisture off the Gulf, and it's been days of this moisture, and so the flood threat continues here from New Orleans to southern portions of Mississippi. Even in southern Alabama, there is that chance of heavy rain and flooding. So that's definitely something that we're going to be watching carefully here. I-59, I-65, no fun on that travel. So, Kel, that is an area of the country that we're watching carefully. And of course, it's not just right now that we're seeing severe weather, it's also this weekend. Let's go to Dr. Greg Forbes with the latest on that.
Yeah, and the severe weather threat will be instead of the southeast, more shifting to the northern plains, the central plains, the high plains as we go over the weekend. Even by Sunday, a pretty high chance of a tornado. The moisture is already there. These green shaded areas are high dew points, and dew points are a measure of the amount of moisture in the air. 59 is very high for Denver at a high altitude like that. In the 50s and 60s, that's certainly enough already for severe thunderstorms. We'll have some today, but as we get later in the weekend, this upper disturbance that here in the water vapor imagery shows up as this boundary between the reds, the dry air and the moisture air to the east of that, that's all going to slide east and give a little bit of wind energy, some triggering for even more severe thunderstorms. Today, some spotty wind and hail from Fargo to Pierre, down to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, a little bit of Wyoming, and then down to the Denver area. Relatively low chance of a tornado. But then, as we head into tomorrow, we'll begin to get a little bit more wind energy. That's what we see here at about 20,000 feet, 500 millibars there for you weather geeks. And that begins to push up into the Montana area, adds a little bit of wind energy. So anywhere from Montana over to western parts of Minnesota, severe, but I've given a Torcon a 3 there, southeast Montana, parts of South Dakota, Wyoming, and Nebraska because of that wind energy showing up. And Denver, you could get an isolated severe thunderstorm, maybe even a chance of a tornado nearby. Sunday, another day of moistening, another day of that upper air disturbance pushing eastbound. And we'll also see a little bit of a low-level jet. That's at about 5,000 feet, maybe 40, 50 miles per hour. So that gives pretty strong low-level shear for a chance of tornadoes there, as well as up near that surface low. And the 500 millibar, 20,000-foot winds there, getting right out over top of that warm, unstable air. So anywhere from Minneapolis to Rapid City, down into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, some severe thunderstorms, quite a few of them, and a pretty high chance of a tornado. 5 there, eastern parts of South Dakota. That's a 50% chance within 50 miles. 4s for central parts of Nebraska. 4s as well for western parts of Kansas. So a pretty big area that could get some tornadoes. And then again, a little bit farther to the east on Monday. So we're getting kind of into a stormy, dangerous pattern. Let's go to Kelly.
All right, Greg, thanks for the heads up. And we want to give you a heads up if you want to hit the beaches across the southeast this weekend. We are talking warm temperatures, but also dangerous lightning. We are still tracking an upper level low that continues to sit and spin across the south. You can see the clouds on our visible satellite imagery showing up in the white, and you can see the green and especially the oranges and reds showing us where the heaviest rain is taking place in southern Mississippi and Alabama. So our moist flow continues to be pulled up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Not only that, this was a backdoor cold front that came across the northeast northeast now stalling out across northern Georgia and the Carolinas, and that will be the focal point for more storms, especially during the afternoon and evening. So if you do want to hit the beach, probably a good idea to do it early in the day around Destin and Panama City. Heading out to Lake Lanier or Allatoona to do some boating out there. Just be mindful. There could be some storms popping up in the afternoon. Sunday as well looks to be a pretty active day for many southern states. Panama City, watch out for those spotty storms both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Mark?
And Kel, it's the unofficial start of summer, I suppose, only 2 days away now from the 2014 hurricane season. And now, nearly 9 years since Hurricane Katrina left parts of the Gulf Coast underwater, there are still some neighborhoods in New Orleans that are recovering. But the city has some new defenses against major storms in the future, and Dave Malkoff has more on that.
Hey guys, I'm standing on one of the flood control systems that surround the city of New Orleans. This huge process of pumps and floodgates, this is all part of the $14 billion that the Army Corps of Engineers is spending to keep New Orleans safe. But not everywhere is safe. Welcome to a neighborhood where time stands still.
It's a ghost town. It's heart-wrenching, you know, for everybody.
Less than 2 years ago, all 75 homes here were alive.
Kids bustling up and down the streets.
Today, all but one house stands gutted and abandoned.
My name is Jesse Schaefer. I'm from Braithwaite, Louisiana.
Nearly 2 years ago, Jesse helped rescue more than 100 people in 18 feet of water. It was Hurricane Isaac, and the neighborhood levees were no match. This is your house right here?
Yes. Hard to come back. We got a swimming pool in the back. Every weekend was a party, you know.
These are actually pictures of Katrina's damage. You can find these hanging up in pretty much any abandoned home in this neighborhood. They hung these up to remind themselves of their resilience. They came back. But after Isaac, 7 years later on the same day, they never did. There's a big difference between here and directly across the mighty Mississippi, where there's federal money and movement from Plaquemines Parish President Billy Nungesser to build levees. Big ones. But it's been a long time since Isaac, and some of these folks have no protection whatsoever.
Those levees are still 3 to 5 years away being completely finished.
3 to 5 hurricane seasons.
Yes.
Levee construction is a complicated process.
This levee will be lifted and widened.
Nungesser tells us $2 billion worth of levees are already going up here.
Of course, there's more people up here.
Not down where Jesse once lived.
It's crazy. We're the only stretch in a metropolitan area that doesn't have the protection that everybody else has.
Since that night of rescues, Congress flew Jesse to Washington, gave him a medal, but his neighborhood is still gone.
Just so many friends. So many friends.
They're sitting there without any protection. I'm sure you can understand their frustration.
We have that levee under construction on the East Bank.
Just not in time for the start of another hurricane season.
We ain't asking for the world. The levee would make it so much better for everybody.
What a difference just a few miles makes. Look at all this right here. This is just one section here in New Orleans, and all of this is temporary. In fact, you see those cranes back there? They're building a permanent construction, but that's about 2 years away here. In New Orleans, I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
I'll just call it nature's light show.
Yeah, some lightning coming up in today's top 5 videos. One side of the sky to the other. We'll see where it lands on the top 5 countdown coming up next.
That's right. That and much more here on Weather Center Live. Plus, big changes are coming to try and curb greenhouse gases. We'll have the latest.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
sun has always powered life. And now it powers our latest innovation to heat and cool your home more efficiently. Introducing the world's only solar-powered home energy system, which saves you up to half off your heating and cooling bill. Get up to $1,700 back or special financing on select Lennox home comfort systems. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
For more information, contact your local Lennox dealer.
Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars contain 1/3 of your daily whole grains. So 1/3 of this commercial is dedicated to what you could do with all that energy. One-third of your daily whole grains means energy to make some new ocean friends. Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars.
The chill of peppermint. The rich, dark chocolate. York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
You know, there's a more enjoyable way to get your fiber. Try Phillips Fiber Good Gummies. They're delicious and an excellent source of fiber to help support regularity.
These are good.
The tasty side of fiber from Phillips.
Surely a vacuum shouldn't just work on carpets. Well, the Dyson DC65 cleans better than any other vacuum across hard floors and carpets. Works for me.
Now save up to $100 on Dyson technology.
Keep your yard looking great. Get Triazicide Insect Killer, now just $5 at Lowe's.
Bridgestone tires perform best when you need it most.
Like when Julie Bowen is late taking her son to a birthday party.
Okay, people, you, front seat, you, out of my way. Julie has our new Drive Guard tires, the next generation of run flat technology.
Oh, good. Nails.
Oh, these tires are engineered to take a puncture and then drive up to 50 miles.
50 miles? Great, because I remember the present, but I forgot the kid. Yeah, you need to check. Oh, I forgot. I have a lot of kids.
Grow. It's what we do. We grow big celebrations and personal victories. We grow new beginnings and better endings. Grand gestures, happier happy hours. So let's grow something greater with Miracle-Gro. What will you grow?
Chevrolet and its dealers proudly support Military Appreciation Month with the industry's best military purchase program for all that have served.
Welcome back, everyone, and it's time now for our top 5 videos of the day, where we take a look at the amazing weather videos that come into us here at the Weather Channel from all around the world.
And we like to live vicariously through you guys, especially when you're having fun. Yeah, this is a great one. All right, hang 10. This is surfing a barrel wave. A barrel is where the wave is hollow and almost looks like a tunnel. As you're going through it, you can actually see the sun on the other side in some of these.
Yeah, I did some surfing in my day. I was never quite this good, though. I fell more than I surfed.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm surprised by that.
Well,
that's the Outer Banks, by the way. All right, this is where you do not want to park your car anytime soon.
No, that is a sinkhole in a parking lot in Florida. Sinkhole formed and is now about 30 feet wide and about 5 feet deep, where you can actually see in, and it's still growing, which is a little bit nervous, or would make you a little bit nervous if you're in that parking lot.
Yeah, stay away from that and stay away from flooded roadways. We tell you guys this because, I mean, maybe that truck could make it down the street, but this is ridiculous. All the heavy rain causing flooding in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana.
This reminds me of that sinkhole video, because how are you to know that that road is actually still there, not washed out?
Could be compromised.
Formed a hole of its own because of all that water. You could be driving directly into nothing. That's why we tell you to turn around.
All right, and also another danger you always have to watch out for is lightning, and this was striking near Minot, North Dakota last night. There it goes. Quite a light show.
Yeah, a very electrified storm. Look at all the lightning bolts, both cloud to cloud and cloud to ground lightning in this video, and there was a lot of lightning to talk about, that's for sure.
And I love number one. This is very rare, a roll cloud that just rolls on and on and on. I mean, this is pretty cool. It's about 150 miles southeast of Watford City, North Dakota, and this occurred about 8 hours after a tornado actually hit Watford City.
And just an epic sight there. And it's hard to sometimes tell the difference between a roll cloud and a shelf cloud. They have that same kind of sloped exterior, but if you were watching this in person, you would actually see the whole thing rolling around that axis, and that's how it got the name.
Very cool. And we'd love to see your cool video as well. You can upload video anytime at weather.com/photos.
Now, have you heard about this? Some new rules to limit greenhouse gas emissions could have some major impacts on the environment and on the way that we get our energy here in the U.S.
Meteorologist Julie Martin has more on these new rules and what they mean for you.
While California bakes in a prolonged extreme drought and Arizona wildfires burn, scientists are sounding the alarm bell, calling for an urgent reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, saying we are already watching our planet change in real time.
Many say that climate scientists are being alarmist, that they're overstating the case, and yet what we're observing is that climate modeling is generally conservative, that things are happening even more quickly than had been expected.
This is the future we must avert.
Now, as part of President Obama's commitment to fight climate change, the EPA is proposing new rules to reduce emissions from existing power plants. Monday, the administration will lay out the plan.
We're looking forward to a very substantial proposal from the President and the EPA. If we do our job here in the United States, we'll send a signal all around the world. The Chinese are watching, the Europeans are watching, the Indians are watching. They want to know that we're in the game and pulling our weight.
Under the 1970 Clean Air Act, the EPA will target some of the biggest polluters, nearly 600 coal-fired power plants across the U.S. that create nearly 40% of our energy. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a business and industry-funded group, says the move could cost money and jobs. But not everyone agrees on the implication.
The key here is to get the most pollution reduction you can from these dangerous power plants. It's time to take that on. And if we do it in this smart, flexible way, it can create jobs, not cost jobs. It can lower consumers' electric bills, not raise them.
This move follows another set of rules on new power plants that went into effect in January. It won't just limit emissions, but will offer states and companies new flexibility in how they meet the stricter standards. The possible result, a significant step in the shift to cleaner, renewable energy.
The President has a strong commitment to doing this. I think he views this as his legacy, and it will be our generation's legacy also.
I'm meteorologist Julie Martin, the Weather Channel.
And the EPA is expected to introduce new regulations forcing states to meet pollution reduction targets, but giving them flexibility on how they actually get to those numbers.
Well, we are getting you ready for the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season.
A preview of what to expect is coming up next.
Eliminate odors and reduce allergens with new Febreze Allergen Reducer.
Want to see some allergens?
Ew! Ew! What is that thing?
They could be all around you right now. How would you deal with them?
Ninjas.
No need for ninjas. Reduce up to 95% of inanimate allergens becoming airborne from fabrics with new, dermatologist-tested Febreze Allergen Reducer. Get fresher air and breathe happy. Also available in Air Effects.
As a commercial beekeeper, Dave tracks the Weather Channel forecast closely, predicting when crops across the country will bloom and need bees for pollination. At a moment's notice, he loads and trucks thousands of bees, keeping his eye on the weather to ensure his fragile cargo makes it to the blooms on time. When the bees and blooms matter, Dave turns to the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When it comes to salads, Panera Bread doesn't take shortcuts like some restaurants do. While they were busy settling, we were busy searching for what we think is the tastiest chicken, raised without antibiotics. And when it comes to lettuce, we insist on only crunchy, flavorful hearts of romaine in our made-to-order hand-tossed salads. Not taking shortcuts means more work, but when the destination is salads this delicious, we think the Panera way is the only way.
Find your Panera Bread favorite and share with us. #PaneraFaves.
This place has got really good chocolate shakes.
What she said to me,
that's a good look for you.
That was fun.
Yeah. Let me help you out with it.
Oh no, I got it.
You sure?
Just pop the trunk.
I may not know where the road will lead, but I'm sure my Subaru will get me there.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
You may have to travel like this. But at Courtyard, you can choose to stay like this. And enjoy more of this, and this. It's a new stay. Courtyard.
I've fallen. Please help me. Help. Someone, please help me.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
This is Life Alert. Are you okay? I'm calling for help right now.
Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Thanks to Life Alert, I can have peace of mind and continue my independence.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-382-1905. That's 1-800-382-1905. Call now at 1-800-382-1905 to get a free brochure. 1-800-382-1905.
The Weather Channel's new morning show.
It all starts with the weather.
America's morning headquarters with Sam Champion. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back, everyone. It is time to take a look at the tropics. Hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin officially starts this Sunday, June 1st. And we're going to see if there's anything brewing out there that you need to be concerned about in just a moment. But first of all, the official list of the 2014 storm names going from A to W. Hopefully we don't get too far into the names, but the first name on the list would be Arthur. And then we've got Bertha, Cristobal, and Dolly making the list as well. Some of these names you may recognize. They are recycled every 6 years unless they get retired because they had a devastating effect either on property or lives. Let's take a look at the enhanced satellite picture, and you can definitely see where we have some cloudiness out there across the Virgin Islands, but thankfully no organized area of thunderstorms. If you're heading down towards Jamaica, looking good as well, and over towards Belize if you're heading out to Central America. Even though we do see thunderstorms out there, nothing really organizing into any tropical system. So as we take a look at where we usually find tropical storm formation during the month of June, all these red dots represent where we've had storms originate. And you'll notice that they're pretty close to home. We got to keep an eye on things here in the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Caribbean, and also off the East Coast. Sometimes off a dying front, you can get a storm kind of spinning up right along that frontal boundary. So let's take a look at where those storms tend to go during the month of June. If they were to develop here across the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, they do go toward the north. And even here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, they tend to curve toward the north and east over Florida, and sometimes still impacting the Carolinas as well. So now really really is the time to prepare. Make sure you have everything you need in that hurricane kit in case you need to evacuate if there ever were to be a storm developing. But as we go back in time, since 1950, on average, we've had about one tropical storm develop every 1 to 2 years, just to give you an idea of how active or really not that active it is this time of year. And the most we've ever had in 1 year was 3 back in 1968. By the way, the peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic not until the middle of September. So we'll be keeping an eye on things for you. And also in the Eastern Pacific, we've already had a very powerful hurricane, nearly a Category 5. That was Amanda, so we can cross that name off the list. The hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific, that began on May 15th. And we're going to take a look and see what's going on here in the Eastern Pacific. We have some storms right along the Mexican coast here, but we're also keeping an eye on this cluster of storms right here closer to the intertropical convergence zone. That is where we could have potentially Boris developing. So we're watching this area. The National Hurricane Center is watching this area as well, giving this about a 60% chance of development. But the good news is right now it looks like this will have a tendency to work its way out towards the west and out over the cooler waters of the Pacific. And like Amanda, not really having any impact on land. So that is certainly some good news, but we'll be watching it for you here at Hurricane Central. Mark, over to you.
Thanks, Kel. And speaking of those tropical waters, there's a new show coming to the Weather Channel that we're excited about called Catching Hell. It follows spearfishers and the dangerous environments that they face. Check out this preview. The crews encounter a freak storm on what was supposed to be a beautiful day to fish.
Our biggest rivalry in the Gulf is the weather. You never know what it's going to do. It can turn on a dime, and you have to be ready for it at all times. It's nuts looking, and it's coming this way. This storm, there was no rhyme or reason for it, no forecast of it happening. It was just simply lightning and thunderstorms that started on land over Florida and for some reason moved west at a high rate of speed. It looked like something that would be rolling across the plains of Kansas, tornadoes, and it was ominous looking.
That is a waterspout, very dangerous for a vessel.
It looks like this thing is going to engulf us from the north. When we see waterspouts out there, we try to put as much distance between them as possible. You have to really be on your toes. All of a sudden, it's on top of you, and in these smaller boats, there's a good chance you're going to go down.
Follow all the action on Catching Hell this Sunday night at 9 Eastern, only here on the Weather Channel. A lot of people will try to be out fishing this weekend. There's, plenty of outdoor space. It's starting to feel like summertime. Kids are out of school. So we want to check out the weekend forecast for you.
The weekend forecast featuring the possibility of severe storms, unfortunately, across the middle of the country, especially in the plains and up there across Minnesota. That area in red is where we're most concerned about damaging winds, large hail. Can't rule out the possibility of tornadoes.
Yeah, scattered storms all the way down to the southeast coast as well. Kind of that hit or miss stuff, the same stuff we're dealing with today, right now. In fact, you might be able to hear some thunder as the Weather Channel studios in Atlanta is getting rocked right now as we speak.
Yeah, lots of loud thunder. Man, it's booming like every second, it seems like. Hope I have the umbrella with me. Sundays. It's Paul Goodlow's stomach growling. That's what we're hearing. Okay. Showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast as well. Still that area in red across the northern and central plains, so we'll be watching out for that. Otherwise, the NASCAR race in Dover looks fine, and the Yankees are at home as well as the Red Sox. Looks good for baseball in the Northeast.
And that area in red is exactly where the Tornado Track team is headed, so you'll be hearing from us this weekend into early next week as well.
Mark's going out there with the Tornado Track team, so good luck to you.
Thanks.
And I also want to say thanks to Alex Wilson, who's up next, by the way. We did a swap today because my father-in-law turned 80 today. So
well,
we're
happy
actually
birthday
going
to
go
him.
celebrate.
That's fun.
Yay. Stay with us. Another hour of Weather Center Live is straight ahead. Alex is joined by Paul Goodlow.
And, of course, we leave you with a view of Mount Rushmore, where some of those storms are headed this weekend.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms possible. Low 76. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, variable clouds with scattered thunderstorms. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, right now we are tracking tonight's severe weather threat, plus the time you want to avoid being outside this weekend as dangerous thunderstorms move in. We show you the tornado risk hotspots.
And days away from the Atlantic hurricane season, we put Jim Cantore to the test to show you the dangers of waiting until the last minute to prepare.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you are watching Weather Center Live.
And we want to show you this brand new video coming into the Weather Channel of the Atlanta area. This is some high winds and heavy rain showers rolling through the area. You know who sent this?
Let me guess.
We got a guy for it. Get that? Not your stomach.
Not my stomach, but big-time thunderstorms popping up all the southeast, including Atlanta, and even some small hail, about pea-sized hail at my house earlier. I was calling there as well. Yeah, it's not the only heavy rain we're watching, but in fact, severe weather we got to worry about this entire weekend long. Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Alex Wilson. If you're like me, you've got unhappy pets in the home, so we want to get to the latest on that severe threat areas where you might have some dogs hiding under the couch. Storm specialist Carl Parker is here with more.
All right, guys, we are watching some severe weather today, and one severe storm actually right over the Weather Channel right now. And here's a look at the severe warning underway for Cobb County on the northwest side of Metro Atlanta. A lot of lightning with these storms, and in fact, we are hearing it right now at the Weather Channel studios. And this warning goes until 5:45 Eastern time. So here is the cell we're concerned about on the northwest side of Metro Atlanta, and that's coming right up 75 right now. The Weather Channel, by the way, is right in here at the intersection of 285 and 75, and again we are hearing it. And so it's just ahead of that area. We're talking about Marietta and then up into Kennesaw, perhaps looking at the possibility of some damaging winds, 60-mile-per-hour wind, along with possibly some 1-inch hail. And in fact, here is the high-resolution radar picture, and we'll take a look at some of the parameters here. Seeing some wind coming out of this thing and into the Smyrna area right now, and then looking at that core right there. There's that little hail core also getting very close to Smyrna, and it's going to be coming, looks like right up through Marietta. There was a recent scan there that grew a little bit, and we are seeing some evidence of hail on the differential reflectivity. So pretty impressive core right now, just off to the west of 75 and 285, and again that's moving north now, or maybe a little west of north, and that's generally going to come right up and across Marietta and across Kennesaw as well. So get ready for some gusty wind and some possible hail, along with very heavy rain and a lot of lightning as that particular storm moves in. But outside of that, there's not a lot going on in the southeast right now. It's pretty quiet. Once again today, a lot of lightning in the Tampa area that's coming up towards right along 75 there and getting up towards Interstate 4. And here is the visible satellite picture. Notice the storms popping up across the peninsula and then farther to the north and to the west with that upper low that's still in place there right over the lower Mississippi Valley. A lot of activity in the southeast today. Now there's a front in the northern plains that's helping to focus things a little bit more, so there's a better chance of more organized severe weather here. And in fact, a couple of warnings to tell you about right now. One is a severe thunderstorm warning that is for Falk County going until 4:45 Central Time, looking out for hail and wind there. Then to the north of that, a flash flood warning with a cell that has been refiring here right along Route 12, and that's in Edmonds County. Could be some high water there. That's going until 10 o'clock tonight. So there's the area of concern for severe weather today from northern Minnesota back down into the Denver metro area. Then tomorrow we've got a Torcon index of 3 out of 10 southeast Montana, and then also looking at a 3 out of 10 in southwestern South Dakota. But we are going to see strong stronger energy coming out of the west on Sunday. So you've got a moist flow in the low levels. At about a mile up, we're going to see some pretty strong winds coming out of the south-southwest, and then very strong mid-level winds coming out of the west-southwest there on Sunday. And that's going to lead to rotating storms most likely. So a 5 out of 10 on the Torcon Index in southeastern South Dakota and a 4 out of 10 in central Nebraska. Also looking at a 4 out of 10 in western Kansas. Could be a pretty busy day for the plains and also up into parts. Paul, back to you.
Thank you so much, Carl. I'll take it from here. The start of the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season is inching closer, starting on Sunday. Just hours ago, President Obama dropped in on a hurricane briefing to see how FEMA is preparing the season.
Most urgently, as hurricane season begins, we have to remember that responding to a hurricane is a team effort, and everybody's going to have a role to play at the federal, state, and local levels.
And here at the Weather Channel, I want to get you ready for hurricane season by showing you how to protect your home. Storm tracker Jim Cantore is at the University of Florida to show us what's being done to keep you safe.
Here at the Hurricane Research Lab at the University of Florida, we have tested all sorts of things today, including roofing tiles, and we found out when they were improperly installed, what happens. These things usually should take winds at Category 5 strength, but you can see when they're put in with nails as opposed to screws, they come off easy with winds between 100 and 140 miles per hour. We also tested garage door. This is a commercial grade garage door, and the wind flow around your house, of course, will depend on what force it'll have against the actual door itself. We put two forces on it. First, we had a force that would pull the door out, and then we had a force that would push the door in. You can see that the door pretty much failed in both circumstances here. So that is something, obviously, that they're here to do. They're here to research how to make a stronger door that can hold, because once you get that water in, and especially that air in, other areas are going to go as well. Windows, possibly even the roofing facility. And speaking of windows, we tested two windows. One was a normal window that most of us have in our homes. We taped up that window. Just because you tape it doesn't mean it's going to be able to withstand the force of a piece of debris, a 2x4 here, that flew toward the window. And then we used, if you will, impact-resistant or hurricane-resistant glass. This window held up a lot better. Even if water got in a little bit here, the big wind didn't get in. Because once the wind gets in, that means the roof will eventually go, and you've got all sorts of problems with your home. So here again, we're here to build a better mousetrap, and that's exactly what we did. We got a chance to even test me with winds up to about 50 miles per hour. A lot of people wait till last minute to put up their plywood, and as you can see here, trying to hold on to a piece of plywood or OSB board, as this was the case, it's almost impossible to do that once the wind and the rain starts moving in. So it's been a great day. I think certainly if you think about building a home from scratch and you live in a hurricane-prone area, you need to incorporate a lot of this high-end equipment. If not, you're going to see the kind of failures that we saw today. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Jim. We'll take a look at this. This is the picture from right outside the Weather Channel studios. See your logo up there in the right corner of the screen, the building. A lightning strike. Yeah, thunderstorms going severe, rolling through the northwest suburbs of Atlanta right now.
Protection people love. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Amazing.